The massive Xeraxian warship Eternal Dominion emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, its biometallic hull absorbing the distant sunlight like liquid mercury. Grand Admiral Nexus stood on the command deck, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the holographic displays surrounding him. 3 centuries of military conquest had taught the Xeraxians that primitive species were easy prey, and according to their scans, humanity was primitive indeed. These readings must be incorrect. Nexus announced, his secondary arms manipulating the sensor controls. Their orbital installations still use silicon processors. Their ships burn ionic propulsion. They haven't even established a proper lunar colony. Fleet Commander Vex, her combat-modified body towering over the bridge crew, checked the scans herself. The readings are accurate, Admiral. Human technology is exactly as our advanced probes indicated, painfully primitive. Their most advanced warships would barely qualify as civilian transports in our empire. But deep within Cheyenne Mountain, in a facility that didn't officially exist, General Sarah Mitchell watched the alien vessel with grim satisfaction. The massive holographic display showed every detail of the Xeraxian ship, data streaming in from quantum sensors hidden throughout the solar system. 20 years of preparation were about to pay off. "Status of Project Aegis?" she asked, her voice steady despite the weight of humanity's future resting on her shoulders. Dr. Elena Santos, chief architect of humanity's greatest secret, looked up from her neural interface. "All systems nominal, General. The quantum core is stable, consciousness integration is at optimal levels, and the biomimetic camouflage is holding. They haven't detected a thing." Mitchell nodded, studying the massive shape hidden beneath the lunar surface. Project Aegis represented the true pinnacle of human achievement, a perfect fusion of artificial intelligence, quantum engineering, and consciousness transfer technology. While the world's governments publicly maintained a facade of relatively primitive space capabilities, a select group of humanity's brightest minds had been preparing for this moment. "They're broadcasting, General," announced Lieutenant Commander Chen, his fingers dancing across the quantum interface. "System-wide transmission." The holographic display shifted, revealing the imposing form of Grand Admiral Nexus. His crystalline body structure seemed designed to inspire awe and fear, but Mitchell had studied enough xenobiology to recognize the subtle signs of arrogance in his posture. "People of Earth," the alien's translated voice resonated through the command center. "I am Grand Admiral Nexus of the Xeraxian Empire. Your solar system lies within our designated expansion zone. Submit to our authority, and you will be permitted to serve the Empire. Resist, and we will take what we require by force. You have 1 planetary rotation to respond." Mitchell allowed herself a small smile. "Right on schedule. Send the prepared response." On screens across the solar system, United Earth President Chen appeared, projecting carefully calculated uncertainty and fear. "Grand Admiral, humanity is honored by your attention. We request time to consult with all our nation-states regarding your generous offer. Our decision-making process is complicated by our divided planetary governance." The Xeraxian Admiral's crystalline form flickered with patterns that humanity's hidden quantum AI translated as contemptuous amusement. "You have 1 rotation, not 1 moment more. Your primitive political structures are not our concern." As the transmission ended, Mitchell turned to her command staff. "Status of Operation Looking Glass." "The decoy fleet is in position," Commander Hayes reported. "Old-style fusion drives and railguns, just as planned. All the technology they'd expect from a primitive species like us. The Xeraxians are scanning them exactly as predicted." Dr. Santos approached the central hologram, her dark eyes gleaming with anticipation. 20 years of letting every alien probe and long-range scanner see exactly what we wanted them to see. 20 years of hiding our quantum breakthrough behind a carefully constructed mask of technological inferiority. We've had quantum computing since before they even entered our galaxy, but as far as they know, we're still struggling with basic AI. Mitchell studied the tactical display, where hundreds of seemingly primitive human ships moved into defensive positions around Earth. The ships were real enough, but they were merely the visible tip of humanity's spear. The true fleet, hidden in subspace pockets throughout the solar system, was something else entirely. Update from Luna Base, Chen announced. Project Aegis is commencing final consciousness integration. The Mothership's quantum core is responding perfectly to the collective consciousness upload. That had been humanity's true breakthrough. The ability to link thousands of human minds into a single quantum computational matrix, creating an intelligence that could outthink and outmaneuver any conventional AI or biological commander. The Xeraxians thought they were facing a primitive species with basic space capability. They were actually facing something unprecedented in the galaxy's history. They're launching scout ships, Hayes reported. Standard Imperial protocol. They're doing a close-range scan of our primitive defenses. Mitchell watched as the alien vessels approached Earth's seemingly vulnerable fleet. Everything was proceeding exactly as the quantum predictions had indicated. Sometimes, humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology or firepower, but the ability to let others underestimate them. Send word to all commands, she ordered. Operation Looking Glass is now active. Let's show the Xeraxians why it's dangerous to judge a species by its cover. As the alien scouts began their scans, humanity's greatest achievement waited silently in its lunar cradle, its quantum consciousness awakening to full power. The Xeraxians thought they were dealing with primitives who would be easy prey. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was letting others underestimate them until it was too late. The Xeraxian scout ships wove through Earth's orbital defense network with casual arrogance, their sensors probing what appeared to be outdated satellites and primitive weapon platforms. In the Eternal Dominion's command center, Fleet Commander Vex watched the sensor feeds with growing disdain. Their orbital defenses are even more pathetic than we thought, she reported, her crystalline form pulsing with amusement. Chemically powered missiles, basic kinetic weapons, and primitive energy shields that couldn't stop a mining laser. Their most advanced targeting systems still use algorithmic programming instead of quantum prediction. Grand Admiral Nexus studied the tactical display with all 4 of his sensor arrays, and their response to our ultimatum. Still deliberating. Admiral, their global communication networks are buzzing with panic and confusion. Various nation-states arguing about submission versus resistance. Exactly what you'd expect from a pre-unified species. But deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in the quantum-shielded command center designated Deep Blue, Dr. Elena Santos watched the alien scouts with predatory satisfaction. Every scan they performed, every bit of data they collected, reinforced humanity's carefully crafted deception. They're totally convinced, she reported to General Mitchell, who stood before the facility's massive quantum display. Their scan patterns show decreasing thoroughness. They're not even bothering to look for subsurface installations anymore. Mitchell nodded, her expression grim. Status of the Consciousness Collective. Santos gestured at the neural interface display, where thousands of points of light represented the human minds being prepared for integration with Project Aegis. The volunteer consciousness uploads are at 98% completion. Over 10,000 of our best military strategists, scientists, and tactical experts, ready to form the quantum consciousness that will guide our real fleet. That had been the true breakthrough. Not just quantum computing or advanced propulsion, but the ability to merge human consciousness into a collective intelligence that could operate at quantum speeds while maintaining human creativity and adaptability. The Xeraxians relied on artificial intelligence for their combat systems. Humanity had created something far more powerful. Signal from the President, Lieutenant Commander Chen announced. The Security Council is ready. The quantum display shifted, showing the secure chamber where Earth's highest leaders had gathered. President Chen stood at the podium, her expression carefully composed for the upcoming transmission to the Xeraxian fleet. Send the response, Mitchell ordered. Across the solar system, displays lit up with the President's broadcast. Grand Admiral Nexus, after careful deliberation, Earth's nations have reached a decision. We request a 48-hour extension to prepare our submission protocols. Our industrial infrastructure requires time to. Denied. Nexus interrupted, his crystalline form flashing with patterns of irritation. You have 6 hours to begin resource extraction cooperation, or we will take what we need by force. Your primitive weapons cannot hope to resist us. As the transmission ended, Mitchell turned to her staff. They took the bait. Status of Operation Silent Sword. Commander Hayes brought up a new tactical display, showing hundreds of quantum signatures hidden throughout the solar system. All quantum nodes are in position, disguised as mineral deposits and spatial anomalies. The moment they commit their fleet, we'll have them surrounded in a three-dimensional quantum web. That was humanity's true defense network, not the primitive satellites and weapons platforms visible to alien scans, but a vast array of quantum technology that could reshape space itself. While the Xeraxians saw only what they expected to see, humanity had woven a trap that would change the balance of power in the galaxy. New contact, Chen announced suddenly. Heavy capital ships dropping out of hyperspace. They're not waiting for the deadline. The quantum display showed 5 massive Xeraxian warships materializing at the edge of the solar system, their biometallic hulls gleaming with deadly purpose. Each was larger than humanity's largest visible space station, bristling with weapons that could crack a planet's crust. Right on schedule, Mitchell said softly. They're following the exact invasion pattern our quantum simulations predicted. Status of Project Aegis. Santos checked the lunar feeds, where humanity's greatest achievement waited in its crater-sized birthing chamber. Quantum core at full power. Consciousness integration complete. The mothership is ready. Mitchell allowed herself a grim smile. The Xeraxians thought they were about to crush a primitive species that still relied on chemical rockets and basic computers. They had no idea they were flying into the most sophisticated trap ever created. Send word to all commands, she ordered. Operation Silent Sword is now in end phase. Let them come just a little closer. Sometimes the most powerful weapon is an enemy's own arrogance. As the Xeraxian battle fleet moved into attack formation, their sensors still showing nothing but primitive human defenses, humanity's quantum web began to pulse with deadly purpose. The trap was set. The sword was drawn, and in its lunar cradle, Project Aegis stirred with the combined consciousness of 10,000 human minds, ready to show the galaxy why it was dangerous to underestimate Earth. The Xeraxian battle fleet moved into attack formation with practiced precision, their massive ships arranging themselves in the classic Imperial spear pattern. On the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, Grand Admiral Nexus watched Earth's primitive defense fleet with something approaching pity. Launch the first wave of fighters, he commanded. Standard subjugation protocol. Target their orbital defense platforms first, then their ground-based missile installations. No need to waste quantum weaponry on such primitive technology. Fleet Commander Vex coordinated the fighter deployment, her crystalline form pulsing with anticipated victory. First wave launching now. Their tracking systems are attempting to lock onto our ships with primitive radar technology. How did such a species even achieve spaceflight? But in Deep Blue Command, General Mitchell watched the Xeraxian fleet's approach with cold satisfaction. They've crossed the Kuiper threshold. All units confirm quantum web status. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum nodes pulsed with acknowledgement. The trap was ready. 20 years of preparation were about to pay off. Xeraxian fighters are on attack vectors, Commander Hayes reported. They're not even bothering with evasive maneuvers. Their shields are at minimal power. Mitchell nodded. Status of Project Aegis. Dr. Santos' fingers danced across her neural interface. The collective consciousness is fully integrated. 10,000 minds working as one, every quantum processor synchronized. The mothership is ready. That was humanity's true masterpiece, not just advanced technology, but the perfect fusion of human consciousness and quantum computing. While the Xeraxians relied on artificial intelligence, Humanity had created something unprecedented, a quantum consciousness that combined human creativity with computational speed. New transmission from the Zeraxians, Chen announced. Grand Admiral Nexus's crystalline form filled the quantum display. People of Earth, your time has expired. Prepare to witness the power of a truly advanced civilization. Perhaps after we reduce your orbital defenses to debris, you will understand the futility of. Now, Mitchell commanded. In an instant, the carefully maintained illusion of human technological inferiority shattered. Throughout the solar system, quantum nodes activated simultaneously, creating a web of intersecting fields that trapped the Zeraxian fleet in a multidimensional grid. What is this? Nexus demanded, his form flickering with alarm as his ship's sensors suddenly registered the quantum technology surrounding them. Impossible. Their technology level. The surface of Earth's moon rippled like liquid mercury as Project Aegis rose from its lunar cradle. The Mothership emerged, not a conventional vessel, but a quantum construct larger than anything the Zeraxians had ever encountered. Its surface shifted and flowed, guided by the collective consciousness of 10,000 human minds working in perfect harmony. Their moon, Vex shouted. It was hollow. No, transformed. Their quantum signature is off the scales. Mitchell's voice cut across all frequencies, broadcast in perfect Zeraxian language patterns. Grand Admiral Nexus, humanity acknowledges your arrival in our solar system. We apologize for the deception, but we needed to assess your intentions. Now, allow us to show you humanity's true capabilities. Project Aegis moved with impossible grace, its quantum fields manipulating space itself. The primitive defense fleet shimmered and vanished, mere holograms meant to reinforce the deception. In their place, hundreds of advanced human ships emerged from subspace pockets, their quantum drives humming with power that matched or exceeded Zeraxian technology. Impossible. Nexus rage. You're a pre-unified species. Your technology was exactly what we wanted you to see, Mitchell replied. Humanity learned long ago that survival sometimes depends on being underestimated. We achieved quantum computing before your empire even entered this arm of the galaxy. We simply chose not to advertise it. The Mothership's quantum consciousness reached out, its combined human intelligence analyzing and countering Zeraxian systems faster than any AI could respond. Shield frequencies were matched and neutralized. Weapon systems were locked down. Even their quantum communications were intercepted and decoded. You have two options, Admiral, Mitchell continued. You can retreat and inform your empire that Earth is not the primitive world you thought it was. Or you can witness firsthand why humanity has survived everything our harsh world has thrown at us. The Zeraxian fleet hung motionless in the quantum web, their supposedly superior technology rendered impotent by human ingenuity. In the space of a few minutes, the balance of power had shifted completely. The choice is yours, Mitchell concluded. But remember, what you've seen is only a fraction of our capabilities. Sometimes, Admiral, the most advanced civilization isn't the one that displays its power, but the one wise enough to hide it until necessary. As Project Aegis's quantum fields pulsed with the combined power of 10,000 human minds, the Zeraxian fleet faced a humbling realization. They had completely, catastrophically underestimated humanity, and now they would face the consequences of their arrogance. Grand Admiral Nexus's crystalline form pulsed with rage as he assessed his fleet's situation. The quantum web had immobilized his ships, their most advanced systems rendered useless by technology that shouldn't have existed. But the Imperial fleet had not conquered 12 galaxies by surrendering to impossibilities. Full power to quantum drives. He commanded, overload the web's containment fields. Launch all fighters with suicide protocols engage. Show these deceptive primitives the true might of the Zeraxian Empire. The Zeraxian fleet erupted with desperate energy, their ships straining against the quantum web. Thousands of fighters launched, their pilots' consciousness linked to their ships' cores, ready to sacrifice themselves for the Empire's glory. In Deep Blue Command, General Mitchell watched the response with calm anticipation. They're reacting exactly as the collective predicted. Project Aegis, you have tactical freedom. Show them what humanity can do. The mothership moved with impossible grace, its liquid metal surface rippling as the quantum consciousness of 10,000 linked human minds directed its power. It didn't fight like a conventional warship. It fought like a force of nature, each action guided by both human creativity and quantum computation. They're targeting the quantum web nodes, Commander Hayes reported, attempting to break free using concentrated quantum lance strikes. Dr. Santos smiled as she monitored the collective consciousness. Let them try. Each node they target is just a focal point. The web itself exists in 11 dimensions. They're fighting shadows. The space around the Ziraxian fleet erupted in a display of technology beyond anything their empire had encountered. The quantum web didn't just trap their ships. It began to actively redirect their own energy against them. Every quantum lance strike was caught, transformed, and reflected back with devastating precision. Impossible. Fleet Commander Vex shouted as her tactical displays showed Ziraxian fighters being systematically dismantled. Their targeting systems are predicting our movements before we make them. Not predicting. Mitchell's voice came through their communications. The quantum consciousness doesn't need to predict. It exists partially outside normal time. Your movements have already happened from its perspective. That was humanity's true advantage, not just advanced technology, but a fundamental reimagining of how consciousness and quantum mechanics could interact. While the Ziraxians fought with powerful but conventional weapons, humanity had created something that transcended traditional warfare. The mothership split into multiple quantum echoes, each one as real and deadly as the original. Ziraxian sensors couldn't determine which was the true vessel because, in a quantum sense, they all were. Their fighters found themselves engaging an enemy that existed in multiple states simultaneously, their most advanced targeting systems unable to lock onto anything solid. Status of enemy fleet? Mitchell asked, watching the battle unfold across multiple dimensional displays. Their quantum drives are overloading from the attempted breakout, Hayes reported. Shield integrity failing across all capital ships. Their fighter squadrons are down to 23% strength, with the remainder showing signs of quantum core instability. Nexus watched in horror as his mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by technology that rewrote the rules of space combat. His ship's most powerful weapons were being caught in quantum fields that turned them into abstract mathematical concepts before redirecting their energy back as precisely targeted attacks. How? He demanded across all frequencies. How did you achieve this level of technology in secret? Our intel showed you were centuries behind us. Because we learned long ago that survival isn't about showing strength, Mitchell replied. It's about understanding when to hide it. Humanity hasn't survived on Earth for millions of years by being the strongest species, but by being the most adaptable. The mothership's quantum echoes converged on the Ziraxian flagship, each one manipulating space-time in ways that made conventional defense impossible. The collective consciousness of Project Aegis reached out, not just attacking the Ziraxian ships, but rewriting the underlying quantum fields that allowed their technology to function. Final warning, Admiral, Mitchell announced. Your fleet is trapped, your weapons are useless, and you're facing technology you can't understand, let alone counter. The next phase of our attack will start transforming your ship's quantum cores into abstract mathematical constructs. I suspect even your empire hasn't figured out how to crew a ship that exists only as a set of theoretical equations. In the quantum space around the fleet, human ships began emerging from subspace pockets. Not dozens, but thousands. Each one carried technology that had been carefully hidden from the galaxy, developed in secret while humanity maintained its facade of primitive space capability. You have 1 minute to signal your surrender, Mitchell concluded. After that, we'll be forced to demonstrate precisely why Earth's species learned to be very, very careful about underestimating their opponents. As the quantum web tightened and the Mothership's power reached new heights, the Zyrexian fleet faced a stark choice: admit defeat at the hands of a species they had fatally underestimated, or be transformed into a very interesting physics equation. The galaxy's balance of power was about to shift dramatically, all because an empire had made the mistake of judging humanity by its cover. Grand Admiral Nexus stood motionless on his flagship's bridge, his crystalline form dulled with the weight of defeat. Around his fleet, the quantum web pulsed with power beyond his comprehension, while the massive form of Project Aegis loomed like a liquid metal god of war, its surface shifting with patterns that defied conventional physics. "Signal all ships," he commanded, his voice heavy. "Stand down weapons. Deactivate quantum cores." He paused, the words bitter in his consciousness. "Transmit surrender protocols." Throughout the solar system, Zyrexian ships powered down their weapons, their mighty engines falling silent. The empire that had conquered 12 galaxies had just been comprehensively defeated by a species they had dismissed as primitive. In Deep Blue Command, General Mitchell watched the surrender unfold with quiet satisfaction. "Status of enemy fleet: all ships compliant," Commander Hayes reported. "Quantum cores powering down. Fighter squadrons returning to their carriers. No signs of subterfuge or hidden protocols." Dr. Santos monitored the collective consciousness displays with pride. Project Aegis confirms total spectrum dominance. The quantum web has complete control of their systems. Even their backup protocols are locked down. Mitchell nodded and opened a channel to the Zyrexian flagship. "Admiral Nexus, your surrender is acknowledged. Prepare to receive a diplomatic delegation. We have much to discuss about the future relationship between Earth and the Zyrexian Empire." The meeting took place in a quantum space created by Project Aegis, a realm where physics itself bent to human will. Nexus and his command staff found themselves in a vast chamber that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, their every movement watched by the combined consciousness of 10,000 human minds. "How?" Nexus asked simply. "How did you hide this level of technology from the entire galaxy?" President Chen, attending via quantum projection, smiled diplomatically. "By understanding that true power isn't about showing strength. It's about choosing when to reveal it. While your empire expanded through force, humanity prepared for this moment in secret." "But your cities," Fleet Commander Vex protested, "your visible technology, your divided nations." "All part of the deception," Mitchell explained. "The visible face of humanity is real enough. We maintain it deliberately. But beneath that surface, we've spent generations preparing for contact with expansionist species like yours." Dr. Santos gestured, causing the quantum space around them to fill with displays showing the true extent of human advancement. "We achieved quantum consciousness integration 50 years ago. We solved unified field theory shortly after. While your probe saw primitive satellites and chemical rockets, we were building technology that transcends conventional physics. Why reveal it now?" Nexus asked. "Why not continue the deception?" "Because the galaxy is changing," President Chen replied. "We've detected other expansionist empires approaching this sector. The time for hiding is over. Now, we offer your empire a choice." Mitchell stepped forward, her uniform shifting with subtle quantum patterns. "You can return to your empire and report that Earth is not to be trifled with. Tell them what you've witnessed here, or, Nexus prompted. "Or you can join us." Chen finished. "Earth is preparing for challenges that will affect the entire galaxy. We've detected quantum anomalies in neighboring galaxies that suggest conflicts beyond anything your empire has faced. We don't seek conquest, Admiral. We seek allies who understand the true nature of power." The quantum space shifted, showing images of threats that made even the seasoned Zyrexian commanders recoil, vast cosmic entities that devoured quantum fields themselves, interdimensional invasions that threatened the very fabric of space-time. "This is why we hid our true capabilities," Mitchell explained. "Not just from you, but from forces that would have noticed us if we displayed our power openly." forces that your empire, for all its might, hasn't even detected yet. Nexus studied the humans with new understanding. His empire had judged them by their visible technology, never considering that a truly advanced civilization might choose to hide its capabilities. The implications were staggering. "The choice is yours, Admiral," Chen concluded. "But remember, what you've seen today is only a fraction of humanity's true potential. Sometimes the most powerful civilizations aren't the ones that display their strength, but the ones wise enough to hide it until necessary." Nexus finished, finally understanding the lesson that would reshape his empire's entire worldview. As the quantum space rippled with possibilities, Project Aegis maintained its vigilant watch over Earth. The galaxy was about to enter a new era, one where humanity finally stepped out of the shadows to take its place among the stars. Not as the primitive species the Xeraxians had expected, but as something far more formidable. A civilization that had learned to let others underestimate them until the moment was right. The age of human deception was over. The age of human ascendance had begun. And in the vast quantum consciousness of Project Aegis, 10,000 linked minds contemplated the challenges ahead with the unique combination of creativity and calculation that had allowed humanity to survive everything the universe had thrown at them. Sometimes, the greatest power isn't in the strength you show, but in the strength you choose to hide. Earth had proven that today, and the galaxy would never be the same.